here with you. Rather be no other place than here with you now. Rather be no other place than here with you. I see your face in the crowd, but you don't seem so far away. Nothing between us is empty space, empty space. Even when the music is loud, I'd rather be no other place. Here with you now, here with you now. Here with you now.
Chase the wind and touch the sky. A star's light shines on long after it dies. Oh, in the night, I live every day as if it's your last. Our memories been bright like beacons of the past. Oh, in the night, now we race against the sun. Now we race against the Now we race against the sun. Now we race against the race against the sun. Now we race against the sun. Race against the sun. Now we race against the sun. Now we race against the sun. Now we race against the sun. Ooh.
Hello,
Hello.
everybody.
Welcome to this day of DPL games. I'm here with my co-caster Reviv.
How you doing, everybody?
This first match we're going to be seeing is going to be HYPA versus Fierce. These are two really top-tier teams. I mean, we can see right now in the standings, HYPA is on 4th, Fierce is in 2nd. This should be a really good game. They're pretty close in the score. These are both some teams that are just they just have the skill. HYPA is some of the most consistent players. In fact, they actually have the highest defender win rate in the entire league right now. So that's going to be really interesting to watch, especially because Fierce, their strength really comes from their attack. Their attack is one of the most interesting in the league, as most teams will focus on very fast, very violent attacks, using flashbangs to suppress their enemies and just moving through the map as fast as possible using the path of least resistance. Fierce really likes to secure their entry area. They like to sit in the rooms around bomb for a little while and get their bearings, and then coordinate one final push onto the bomb room. And it is often very successful. It does drive the clock down, which is probably their biggest risk. So if HYPA can really delay Fierce's attacks, I think this match could go to HYPA. Again, this is their strong suit. HYPA is able to do a very good attack, and that shouldn't be written off. And Fierce's defense is less than optimal, but still not entirely weak. They do have a 51% win rate on defense, so we could see them challenge HYPA.
Absolutely.
Do you have any predictions for this match, Reviv?
I'm going to go with a split here. I'm going to say first match, we're going to see a 7-3 HYPA and then a 7-5 Fierce.
Yeah, I could get on that. I could definitely see a tie happening. I think Fierce might just have the edge on this one, but HYPA's definitely going to put up a fight. And I wouldn't even be surprised if we saw a tie or a HYPA victory. It's going to be a very close match, a very good one.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. Major playoff implications here too, with 2nd and 4th going at it here. This is a big match for everybody involved.
I know. If HYPA manages to win this, they should be in a pretty strong place to stay in that top 4 to make it to playoffs. But if they lose, they definitely have a risk of not making it to playoffs. Now, those are still quite a few weeks out, and it could go in any way. But this is definitely a match HYPA really wants to win if they want to make it to playoffs.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
Looks like the teams are starting to get ready, so they should be in match soon.
We're working our way in there. Anyone write down my prediction? I want to see. I'm 3 for 3 right now on casts to predictions correct. So
do we have a Twitch chat gamble on who's gonna win?
Let me jump in on that. I got to get my points. Where?
Looks like the game is just getting ready to start. We should be hopping in game in just a second.
Yep, just waiting in on matchup here. Looks like they are matched up now. We good to jump in here?
Yep.
Let's get this bad boy underway here. HYPA Fierce in an action-packed game.
All right, we're coming in. We're loading in.
Here
Looks
we
like
go.
the map set is going to be Factory Kill House C-Store, which is definitely an interesting one. We have the Kill House in the middle that makes it very interesting when night vision plays, because Kill House doesn't have power, which means night vision isn't necessarily that useful. So we could really see a lot of plays on C-Store, but I think this might even embolden some of the attackers to use their lights out play on Factory. Because even if they lose it and the defenders capture their night vision, they're not exactly going to be able to use it in the immediately following round. So we're coming in here on Operation Old Intruder, a Factory map. HYPA is starting on attack here, Fierce is starting on defense. Fierce already setting up a lot of angles to hold. They really want to hold Toxic. They got a barbed wire setup and 2 angles on it. That's going to be a nasty place to push. That Toxic is full of catwalks. Those are just choke points in of themselves. So you really got to watch out for it. We're seeing HYPA. This is a map that the only entrances are fans. You could even say this is the only fans map. They really want to push this office, or at least are worried about getting peeked from the office, because it is definitely dangerous. You have this potential shooter on the catwalk who can just shoot all the way out through the fan. So they're worried about that. It seems like they're considering all their options. They're definitely thinking about having at least one person on the south fan watching into shelving, which is going to be really strong because it's going to give you dock and storage control, which will enable you to only have to deal with the north side of the map if you push. Fierce is coming in. They've got some good barb placement. We see the barb in office. We see the barb going in front of the shelving fan and the one on Toxic. These are really great barbs. If you watch them, they should be able to get a few picks out of it.
Absolutely here. And it looks like we're seeing just a little bit of confusion off the start here from HYPA, trying to figure out where they're going to go. Looks like we are going to see a split push here. We're going to see 4 players go up into the green. It looks like Birdie's going to be taking the Saber into zone charge, probably looking for a dock peek, it might even be. Early smoke comes out from HYPA to watch off that perch angle as they're pushing up on this long. Vitals winning the initial trade there. As the charge does go down on a dock, first picks coming out here. Oh, and they're falling like crazy. 2v2 now. As you've seen the last 2 players from HYPA up on the recording. Oh, Birdie gets one down on the dock onto Addicts onto the open thing, down to a 2v1 with Stars alone in Toxic here. Zill looks like he's going to push in, but Birdie cannot come in from that breach, so all he can do there in the dock is sit and watch. He's trying to see if he can hold that long angle. Now he's rotating up into the fan, and Zillow was there to let him in. Peeking it real slowly. Stars looking like he's going to try to make his push out wide there. He is. He's swinging onto Zillow. Oh, but he didn't get the shot off before Zillow blew wise. They're trading off around the bomb, and Stars does get the kill. Birdie trapped outside. Just a minute left. Star on 1 HP. Any bullet to him, and he'll go down. Birdie trying to see if he can get his angle, but Star is not going to give him the chance with the HP that he's on. 50 seconds left now as Birdie's looking to make his rotate. It looks like he's going to go for the green fan option. See if he can peek him. He knows he's hiding back in that corner. He doesn't want to make that barb sound. Oh, he does go through it. That's going to give Stars his chance to hear him. Birdie now peeking. Look forward, picks up a ton of flashes. Flashes in now. Pushing him. Oh, he can't get the... Oh, and he does. He finishes him off there. Good play from Birdie to hold on to it. A 3K from him with the Saber to take the round. Great play from Birdie.
That was a really excellent round. Now, I definitely think they lost some of the potential momentum by not opening the shelving fan. I think that really forced Birdie in the end to have to make it out there, and they had plenty of time and control to just shoot it open. There would have been no harm in doing so, and it would have really helped them later on the round. However, they didn't have to do it. That dock play, they timed it perfectly. All the defending team had their backs to the dock. The dock went up. There was an explosion, and Birdie was just able to sit there with the Saber and get a free pick and was able to just completely contest that area. Fierce really had nowhere to hide except that Toxic area, which they couldn't really contest bomb from, which put them at a major disadvantage. Coming in on the first kill house of this game, and it's Operation Caesar Lock. This is a vault kill house. And if we look at this one, we can see the club. The club is what you would think would be the path of least resistance, because that's just going to go straight into vault. However, they have to open, I mean, even the attackers, path of least resistance, just drawn right for me. But they got the vault. They have to push the button, which is all the way down in parking garage, which is actually the free entrance. You can just walk in there and push the button. But if you push the button, it'll actually block off this pathway here, meaning that you have to come all the way from kitchen into the club area to get into vault. Now, if you time it right, you can push club, take club, and have someone push parking garage and take button. So it'll be interesting to see where Fierce wants to defend, and it looks like they want to defend the club area rather than button. because of how easy it is to take parking garage. All the attackers have all the advantage here. They can come from a lot of directions into parking garage. They can use smokes and flash, and they're able to just pop in and around the corners by these large open doors. The defenders don't really have that much cover. I wouldn't really expect more than one, maybe two Fierce players playing in there with cheap guns like Nax or shotguns trying to get picks. Because it looks like most of them want to hang around lockers, kitchen, and club and just hold that area. So HYPA's plan of just rushing club and sending maybe one or two guys to parking garage is actually a very strong strategy, as they should be able to take club and then take the vault.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it looks like if that is the play, there will be at least two players and an auto shotty in their way, which could spell disaster here for HYPA. Birdie running along here all on his own the long way, going full sprint as the rest of the guys go slow walk. You can't hear them when they're walking that slow. Birdie looks like he's going to uncontestedly push the button here, which isn't too surprising with it being open. The charge comes out, the smoke comes out. They're pushing hard. The button gets pressed. We're seeing one player get through, two player get through on the auto shotty, and they get able to get him down before he gets more than one. Keeping it up. Only Zillow got in though, and Dia and Kai are right there to keep him. Ink gets another one, but they get Lamp on the backside, and it's just Purdy alone now in the parking. Excellent read and execution there from Fierce, keeping him out. It's just Birdie alone. He's got the entire map in his way, three players, and it looks like Stars was there. Oh, but he didn't get him. Birdie ends up taking the cake, but he does only have 1 HP left. Any bullet, even a knack bullet's going to take him out. Vital's up there with the auto shotty and Volt. This is going to be tough here for Birdie to pull this one out. He's rotating towards backstage. It looks like Dia is expecting the kitchen push, waiting for there while Vitals is sticking. Oh, he switches back to the AK in Vault. An interesting choice. Birdie now in club. They should hear him at this point. Oh, he has a nade. A nade went down on the body. He's got a nade and a flash. That's huge. He looks like he's dropping the clacker outside, I'm going to guess, as he rotates back around. He's going to go all the way back around. 45 seconds left. This could spell disaster for him. Rotating through hallway. Looks like he's going to go in with Dia right here. As the flash comes out, he times it well, and 1 HP is all it takes. But that nade, oh, doesn't quite get him. Round number 2 is going to go to Fierce.
Yeah, no, I mean, Fierce was really able to just control that play. I mean, it was really down to Adaxi with that auto shotgun. He was able to completely delay that push. That left 2 of the attackers in bad positions outside the vault, and separating the other 2 inside the vault. And you really can't do much alone as an attacker when the whole defending team is bearing down on you. So it was just conquer and divide. It came down to Birdie, and Birdie really made the best of a bad situation. He went and he basically denied equipment from the defenders. He took the frag and he used it. He took the clacker and he hit it. This is, what you want to see, because even in this situation where you're probably not going to win, you can at least make it less of a win for your opponents. If the defenders get a frag, that can be devastating. If the defenders get a clacker, that can be devastating. These are tools that the defenders can use to just wipe teams at the immediate start of the round, and you just don't want that to happen. We're coming in on Operation Glass Trouble, and to its name, we can see some interesting glass on this map. Above tellers, there are grenade windows. You can throw grenades into tellers from shed. You can clear out tellers from shed. This is a extremely important thing to note and makes shed very important to hold, which is very difficult for the defenders because of the fact that those chain link fence, you can see through them, you can shoot through them, which means the attackers can come from all directions and contest shed. It'll be interesting to see if we see any teams really work with it. Now, I definitely think Fierce is aware of this. They're putting a barbed wire from arcade to shed. However, it looks like they are using that more to contest a push through shed into arcade rather from an arcade push into shed. HYPA, they're just going to wall charge the storefront. They're going to wall charge storefront, and it looks like they're going to focus their fire on storage and then take bomb. This is a very strong strat. It's hard to barb for this, and I mean, you're coming in, and you know exactly where all the people are going to be. They're going to be behind this cover. They're going to be shooting through these nice light Brit up colors on the map, and it's just going to be really easy for HYPA to just shoot where they're being shot from. Now Fierce is really going to have to come in. They're going to have good use of their Molotovs. They're going to have good angles, and they should be able to contest this, but they have to really pull it out.
Absolutely, and we are going to see this storefront push. These crosses from Dia, Stars, and Vital is going to be crucial as the shots go out. Zombie's not even able to get in the door. Ink goes down on the breach too. They're only able to get 3 inside. Birdie alone with the Saber outside. A trade goes off on the left side. Vitals and Lamp Shady both down. Kai with that Ingmar being so strong that actually a team kill. Zillow's taking down his own man there. Now into a 2v3. Stars holding this cross. Kai's back there with him. Flashes come off. Kai's trying to get out if he can, and he's not. Zillow's able to get him. Addicts alone over there in storage with his Legros. Stars over. Oh, and the smoke's right on him. There's nothing he can do except hope he can get out. Birdie knows where Addicts is. Zillow's going to jump on the bomb. Addicts is able to avoid that Saber cover fire and take down Zillow on the bomb. It's a 2v1. They know he's outside. This is, again, Birdie alone. It's going to be tough for him to pull it out. He does have the Saber, though. 1 HP, and Stars knows where he's in. Tries to step in and punishes him for it. Another round for Fierce. 2-1.
Fierce was just able to hold their angles and get the picks where they need it. Stars, while he was very injured, I don't know if he was called out or not, because he was just pushing up on Birdie, just completely uncontested there. While Addicts definitely posed the biggest threat, he should have at least been aware of Stars and at least checking over there, especially with the smoke thrown. That really emboldens defenders. It allows defenders to just sneak up on you and is really powerful. A misplaced smoke can be the end of a round.
Absolutely. A really, really strong defensive showing there from Fierce, getting 2 rounds there. That's going to make it really, really put the pressure on here on HYPA on this 6 straight defender rounds here.
Yeah, no. While HYPA does tend to perform better on defense, Fierce also performs better on attack. So we're going to be seeing the teams at their peak right now. So it'll be interesting to see how they play this. We're coming back in on Operation Old Intruder. Of course, with the side switch, we now see HYPA playing defense. Similarly, they want a barb in that office. However, they're putting the barb further back, which will allow the attackers to almost freely take on to shelving, but that still leads to a lot of risk if you have someone covering it properly. In fact, it looks like the defenders want to sit next to the shelving fan and watch into office. That would be very strong. Except for the fact that the attackers want to push. I think they want to blow the shelving fan and a peak hole in the dock. They have lines both there, and it would seem that they want to completely cut off the shelving from the office, shooting at them with a smoke grenade, and just push up. These lines show a very strong play. They're just going to use the cover and shelving to slowly take map control and get picks. And it looks like HYPA isn't really even preparing for it. They seem to be more prepared for a fan push. Or a green fan push into office. They're setting up all of their positions around office. They have 1 guy on dock, 1 guy in storage, and 1 in toxic, and they're likely going to rotate. Yeah, they're all rotating for the office here. So this likely will go to Fierce. Their plan is just not being considered whatsoever.
It's going to put a lot of pressure here on Birdie with this mop, who's in charge of covering the other 2 red fans pretty much alone. It's going to be high pressure. Looks like we're going to see a lot of players run to the green fan and then slow lock, maybe trying to make HYPA think that's where they're going. And that's just not it at all. The whole team, it looks like, is going to be going to this shelving fan. They're really, really playing this one slow here, not giving them anything that they want. HYPA's ready for it, though. Ink's pushed up all the way, ready for that fan. Oh, and it looks like 3 more players are going to rotate all the way around to dock. They're playing this super slow. Only giving them 1:30 really to execute here. But Addicts gets the wall charge down. Vital's ready to clack here. We're seeing some interesting play. Oh, the window smoke doesn't go in. They're smoking outside here. The charge goes out. They're blasting to Molly. Does not land where it needs to. Shots trade now. A trade-off right away. Birdie gets the mop shot onto Diaz. They get the refrag back up on the back shelving. As everyone kind of rotates around here now. Ink very ready for Stars up on that fan. He's not being fooled by this push. The flash comes out. Addicts here pushing. Birdie again gets that mop shot now as Ink 180 tries to get Stars down. Oh, they're going down like crazy. Lamp's able to get a double on that push. It's just Stars with the Saber. We might see a save here with a 4v1, and he's got that saber, and that looks like that's what we're going to see. Stars
All right.
running all the way into the corner. A great, great defense from HYPA.
HYPA took one loss. That was very impressive. I mean, yes, it is unfortunate for Fierce that their smoke didn't go through the window like they had hoped. However, I don't think that would have saved them. They didn't take a lot of fire from that angle. They even had the advantage of HYPA messing up their early Molotov, which basically allowed them to take docks, but they just didn't push aggressively enough, and it allowed HYPA to rotate from their positions, which weren't even optimal for covering that dock, to covering the dock. Bomb's about to explode and end the round.
Looks like an AP and a clacker there were picked up by Kai. That could come into big play here. Even
You definitely gotta steal your enemy's equipment when you have rounds like that where they just decide to leave and save what they have. You gotta take what they left behind. Really punishing for Fierce to have that first round end so bad. That will cost them their world charge and one of their clackers and got them nothing. The only saving grace is they saved the saber.
hopefully they're able to pull this out here, because if not, HYPA can really, an early loss like that, you can expect a green push here, and that can change the whole way you look at this. Because if they do use a clacker here and lose it, then then they have no clacker for the last map and have to go green.
Now we're coming back in on Operation Caesar Lock, another one of these vault maps. HYPA seems to be setting up a similar defense to what Fierce did, focusing more on the vault rather than the button. It looks like Fierce wants to definitely push green and maybe kitchen. However, I don't know how well this is going to work out for them, because they're going to encounter what looks like to be 2 of the barbs that HYPA is bringing, and they're probably only going to bring 3 total barb. They have predicted one of the barbs. The barb in office seems to have been predicted. Or maybe that's the 3 saying that 3 people are going that direction. Yes, that's that 3 saying that 3 people are going that direction. Not barbed wire prediction. It looks like Fierce wants to push green, split into teams of 2 and 3. The teams of 2 will push lockers and backstage and provide support from there, while the team of 3 tries to push into vault and take the round. However, I don't know if it's going to go that way for them. Splitting the teams like this is going to be really bad for Fierce, because you're lowering the health pool that the defenders have to deal with. We're going to probably see a lot of people playing around kitchen and hallway and the bar and club. That's going to be a lot of people that this team of 3 is going to have to deal with. The lockers team's probably going to have to deal with 1, maybe 2, but that still leaves them in a bad situation if they have to rotate all the way around the map to deal with their teammates' failings. See the barbs going down in the exact spots they marked. Really well planned. Fierce coming out without a clacker, meaning that this is just going to be a full green push.
Looks like it might even come down to this. There's got this auto shot. He's sitting in a hallway here. This could be huge, this hallway. If this, second flank over in lockers is able to get around in time, it could really spell disaster for those people in hallway who don't really have a ton of ranged weaponry. But who knows? It would be very Fierce-like for them to try to push office and shotgun open that kitchen door. We're seeing a couple early wall banks trade out. No damage is being done. They're trying to just get a little feel here, see where they are, see if they can get any sort of information. Addict's there shooting open the door. Birdie trading some shots in. Addict's now kicked so they can't get reclosed like he just did. Birdie now falling back into hallway waiting for that to work out. Birdie now spraying as he gets flashed. Shots ringing out everywhere. Office and kitchen trading like crazy. Birdie here trying just to slow down this flank team. The lockers team pushes into hallway. They're able to take down Birdie in the middle of the hallway. Lamp Shady's got to fall back with his auto shot. He does not have the range for that fight. Actually, all of HYPA is going to fall back into kitchen and really just this back of club area, as we're going to see maybe even a rotate around into the club. Everything kind of slowing down here now. They kind of felt each other out. They nade out the barb that's there in office. And it looks like Kai is going to be here to let Stars into the kitchen. A flash comes in. They do let him in. And they're able to take him down, punish him for letting him in that extra door there. Now it's just Stars and Kai in kitchen. The auto shot coming on the flank. He gets one. He's coming for more. Addix is able to run away and hide in that back of the hallway area, but he's got a shotgun. He's really in dangerous waters. Fierce now reconsolidates into Kitchen. A good molly comes out from HYPA there, keeping them out as they trade wall bangs back and forth. This is a wall bang huge disadvantage here for Fierce, who's down a player. Oh, the auto shot, punishing again, trying to get out of that little hallway prison that Fierce created for themselves. The door gets open, though, and they get locked out. Stars is able to get in there. Oh, there's not enough time. He doesn't get the time to get it off. They got the button they needed to get, but there's not enough time to defuse. Oh, what a round for HYPA.
HYPA just able to really punish Fierce for having that slow attack. You know, we saw its effectiveness. They were able to just get those damage trades and then really coordinate a push. I mean, HYPA was able to shut it down for the most part, but Fierce was able to adapt to the situation and still managed to get on bomb. However, due to how they were delayed, they did not get on bomb in time. That could have been a huge play. All the defenders were locked out of bomb. If they had 10 seconds, that round would have gone to Fierce easy. There would have been no way for any of the defenders to reach bomb in time. I was watching that. I was surprised they hadn't pushed button earlier. I don't know if they forgot to do it or they intended to wait that long, but it really came down to it. I thought they were going to get into that club and realize they hadn't pushed button at like 14 seconds and then just lose. You know, that was a good round from both teams. I think we saw solid performance there. I'm really excited to see how this game continues going. HYPA is just really able to punish Fierce's method of attack here. So I'm excited to see how Fierce adapts to this situation, or if they don't adapt. We're back on Operation Glass Trouble with the funky shed windows and teller. So that's I want to see that used. I don't know if it's gonna get used, but I hope it is going to get used. You know. HYPA setting up a lot of crossfires here into Storefront. Fierce, they have 2 door charges left, so they look to plan to blow both, or they've at least circled both. No, it looks like they're dedicating all of their resources to Freezer, which is definitely a strong one, especially because they can see this. They have the line to the window into office, which allows them to cover their flank for the most part. If you just dedicate one person outside, you can kind of secure green room and at least make sure you're not getting pushed. There is going to be 2 barbed wire in Freezer. However, there is the Freezer windows, which you can just walk out of, which I will probably allow Fierce to just go into the storefront, but they'll probably take a lot of losses trying to do so, especially when they see the barbed wire. There is a mental aspect to it where you see the barbed wire and you feel kind of restricted when you see it. So you could see some kind of panicking going there when you realize you can't go to the flanks, but that's not the plan. So I don't think we'll see it too much with Fierce here. They do want to smoke off a lot of the areas in storefront and just be ready to hold what seems to be some crazy amount of angles. It'll be interesting to see if they pull it off. It looks like HYPA is setting up all around Freezer. If they push in, we could expect to see just a devastating amount of fire going into that door.
Looks like we're just seeing a little more feeling out there. Just a tiny bit of damage on the zombie through that shed door as he's getting a little greedy there. Looks like we're gonna see a green door, not open, just toyed with. Looks like we are gonna see that peek hole into Freezer as it goes off there. Looks like it's just gonna be Stars on that Saber trying to see if he can get the crosses set up. Oh, he's able to get a shot down onto the auto shotty. That's pretty big if they can take him out. He's trapped in that corner. They open up green and Freezer, and Adaxi is not able to get through Freezer. They punish him for trying to do that all by himself. Kind of interesting decision-making there as HYPA's just hiding behind their cover in storefront. They're ready for this. They're happy to give him that whole right side of the map. They don't have a single player even over there. As they're working their way through office and bathroom, they've only got 3 flashes between the group of and that nade that they've been saving. Expect to see that nade here on this barb. Looks like Zombie's going to go for some wall bangs. He does get some damage, but they trade it right back onto him. The nade goes out into Tellers, but it's no one's in there. That doesn't get anything done here. Looks like Fierce is kind of stalling a little bit, trying to see what they can get off here. Vital's able to squeak through a little bit of damage onto him, but not enough. They do get him outside, though, trying to get the pick. Oh, Die is cooked alive in that barb there. This round looks like it's going HYPA. Kai able to get one pick back, but it's just the 2 of them. Stars trapped outside with this Saber as he's going to rotate around, and Kai's going to push into Arcade as HYPA's falling back. They do get power, but it looks like we do have flares out. Oh, Ink's ready for it. He takes Kai down, and now it's just Stars trying to make a miracle happen in the freezer. He's rotating through. They hit him. Stars able to get birdie one. He's pushing through. He knows the auto shot. He doesn't know the auto shot. He's there laying weight the whole game, and it finally pays off for him. 4-2 HYPA in the first half.
Again, we really saw HYPA just able to just deny access to a large chunk of the map and make Fierce burn time. Fierce's attack is very methodical. They really want to just build up this this push at the end. The issue is HYPA is able to get picks, get damage, and stall them like not a lot of teams can. And that just devastates Fierce's plan. We could really see HYPA just take this game from this whole defender half. We're coming in on the second half of the game now. HYPA is still going to be on defense. All new maps, though, so it'll be interesting to see if that changes up the dynamic. I don't think it will. We're looking at 4-2. It's still anyone's game, but with another 3 defender rounds in a row for HYPA, I think we could really see HYPA get a huge point advantage here and only need 1, maybe 2 rounds on attack to completely secure the this match for themselves. The new factory we have is Dark Razor. This factory is definitely one of the more standard ones. We see a lot of open area broken up by shelving units and the conveyors. I'm expecting to see a lot of play around these conveyors here because they give good cover and a lot of line of sights onto bomb. So you can see that. This kind of perch area up here with the catwalk, that's also a good place for defenders to hold. It lets them see bomb, it lets them see a lot of shelving. You put a Legros, an Igmar, or the mop up there, that could be really strong. Now, interestingly, they do have these shelving areas that the attackers can have access to from blowing fan, but the defenders will not have access to, which is a huge risk. It'll be interesting to see if Fierce wants to do it. It seems like they just want to send their sniper up there, presumably Stars, to just try and contest docks. That's probably a good strat, especially as they want to just full push green. They fully expect barbed wire right where it's going to be. Literally putting marks on top of marks here in storage. It looks like they just want to hold Toxic so they don't get flanked rather than push it, which is probably a good idea. It's very easy to hold that. That's a lot of choke points to deal with. You know, HYPA going in, opening the docks, getting ready to hide in those trucks, or at least make the attackers think they're hiding in the trucks. Attackers coming out, ready to push to green. They don't have a clacker or a charge, so they're definitely going green.
And we do see Inked Geek. He's actually jumped up onto this shelving over here. I believe it's possible to jump up there from this railing and jump up here onto the shelving. And they might not know that he's in a really strong position up there. Zombies in that exact flank that Fierce is ready for. We got the mop on this perch. HYPA is set up well for this push. They are very, very well positioned for this attack. Flash comes out. We're seeing all of Fierce pour into here. Kai's watching that flank strong. That's right. They nade out the barb just like they planned. Stars now peeking the fan for the first time as he works his way up there. The first chunk comes out now, and Ink, they don't know he's there. He's just in a shooting gallery. He takes down Vitals, but they refrag him, but he gets a second with the molly. What a great last-ditch molly. And Dia doesn't have much health on it either. That works to perfection. Ink able to take down 2 functionally by completely distracting them in a position that I doubt they even knew he could get to. Now we're seeing Stars on the fan, holding the rest of their team back there. They are able to get the flash out, and Dia and Stars push both on it. Kai's still on that flank. They're able to take down Zillow and Doc. Ooh, the mop trade. Neither shot. Oh, they do land the mop on the Stars. That's huge. It just takes the pistol shot on Stars now to take him out. Lamp's able to get one. He's pushing with the AK. Flash does come out again. That is going to hit Lamp. He's ready for it, though, and the mop and the AK rounded out. An excellent, excellent defense from HYPA there.
Well, we see another perfect defense set for HYPA here. We might. That was really strong. Now, given that was the economy push from Fierce. They only went green. They didn't use a charge. They have full potential to double charge next round. Double charges on kill houses can be extremely strong just due to the number of rooms in that map.
Oh, that is Saber on the ground, though. That could be huge coming into the C-store, depending on what it looks like.
And losing Saber is definitely huge. That is the attacker's really only power weapon. I mean, you can make an argument that the charges are power weapons, but As far as weapons go, it's the Saber, and losing that means you lose a lot of damage output and you lose a lot of ranged coverage. Coming in on Operation... can't see it. Operation Breaking Burn. There we go. It's a kill house map with an interesting courtyard. You do have access to it through these windows, which Fierce is already marking, and HYPA's looking at the little slit windows that they can use to just deny access to. Both teams are trying to plan around it. This is something new that a lot of the level designers have been doing recently. They've been putting these courtyards in the middle of these kill houses. This is actually an old mapping idea that they had that was retired for a little while and has recently come back. I'm happy to see it back, but a lot of these players who haven't been around since the early alpha haven't seen it and don't know how to plan around it. And no one has really ever planned around it in this kind of competitive environment until now. So it'll be interesting to see how they use it. It seems like both teams want to use the angles on it and are at least aware of the potential angles that they could get countered from. Fierce here is ready to breach into lockers and just try and rush club aggressively, but they're going to encounter a lot of barbed wire doing that. It looks like almost the entire supply of barbed wire for this round will be put into club, trying to block off a push from lockers with lots of HYPA members. Yeah, we can see all the entire HYPA team is playing in club and backstage, ready to shut down a push into that, which is definitely interesting for them because they tend to play more around the map rather than anchoring in one room. Although it looks like they do have someone, Inksgeek, lurking around, gonna play in kitchen maybe, or maybe even lockers, which could really punish them.
Absolutely. And it looks like we're going to see 4 players from Fierce go into this lockers push. Dai is going to play that long game. Look like he's going to probably rotate through checkpoint late, see if that could be strong. First charge comes out here. They're waiting the molly. That's never going to come. And now they're going to push on here into lockers. Flash goes off. No real contest. Surprised not to see too many wall bangs here. This is Kill House after all. Zombie trying to get a little bit on, but he does an AP of his own. No damage traded off there. Is Fierce holding their horses there, waiting for their chance. More shots trading out here. Zombie is able to get tons of damage onto Stars there. A smoke comes out in the corner. A textbook Fierce smoke there, but this is a little tunnel here as Kai and Zombie trading shots. Zombie's cornered. Now he's able to get one before they take him down, though. That's 3 dead for 0 people. I can't count. They take down their own guy there on that TK through the smoke there. Looks like we're going to have a 3v3 coming in. Ink's still in a really strong flank position, but it kind of looks like Stars is waiting on it, especially low HP. The HP advantage definitely for HYPA here as Daya finally makes his way into checkpoint. Going to try to set up a couple crosses on the bomb room, but Birdie with that Saber is just ready for it. Fierce knows it too. They're drawing the lines in, but there's not much they can do. They're trying to probably shoot on a wallbanged ping there. Lampshady trying to use the cover of the bomb. Kai and Stars just waiting for their chance. Birdie punishes Stars for peeking. They're trading shots with Kai. Ink comes around and Shady's able to get the last 2 as they finish it off. Another great round for HYPA, securing at least 6 points on map number 1.
Yeah, really coming in. I mean, they have one more defensive round. If they can do this, they'll have a perfect defense game. That is almost unheard of. Defenders are often considered to be the weaker side in this game, so it's really great to see a team just able to completely shut down attacks, especially on a team like Fierce, who has had, not an infallible attack, but certainly a very powerful attack. It's definitely interesting to see it get shut down here like it has been. I think it really just is that HYPA's defensive playstyle is really good at countering Fierce's offensive playstyle because it is just so slow and it punishes them for waiting. So we'll have to see. This is one more round for HYPA, and they win the game. They literally cannot lose the game at this point. They're at 6 points. One more and they get 7. They win this game, and then one more and they win the match. It's definitely potential, especially we're coming in on another defensive round. It's a C-store. Fierce is down. They have 2 charges. They have 2 charges and a clacker. There's definitely a lot they could do with that. It'll be interesting to see what they try to do. It looks like they're already, thinking about arcade, getting someone to watch the window. I don't know how useful that's going to be. Are we going to see someone playing there? It doesn't make economic sense for Fierce to try and push through arcade. And I doubt we'll see people playing in arcade to counter a push like that since they don't think it's coming. Fierce really looking. They're going to try and take shed, bathroom, and then push into storage and get power, and what looks like a wall charge into storefront. HYPA not really setting up much for this. It's really going to allow Fierce to just go around all the barbed wire that's being planned, and it's going to come down to positioning and gunplay on HYPA's side. This is the first time that we're really not seeing Fierce trying to just brute force through a lot of HYPA's defensive lines. So it might catch them off guard. Although that said, the first defensive round that HYPA played, it really looked like Fierce was going to go around all of it, and they were just shut down. So we definitely could see a repeat of that. But even so, HYPA can afford to lose this round. I don't think they want to. I don't think they're planning to, but they can afford to lose this round. They have 4 rounds ahead of them, and as long as they win 1, they're going to take this game.
Looks like we are going to see this strong shed push here. Oh, Dyer running all the way around. And they do shoot up in the door. They're playing for those wall bangs. There's no HYPA players to be seen there. Stars here is going to get this wall charge down. They're going to clack it here. There's nobody in bathroom for even to defend against this clack. They're trying to get some wall bang damage out, but really all of HYPA's defense is located in the storefront and their crosses. The charge comes out right as Dyer is trying to sneak his way through, but he didn't get it through. Zombie knows he's back there. He's got the Legos, one of the only guns that can wallbang in C-Store. So that could really be strong positioning for it. Oh, excuse me. Now we finally see this push into the bathroom. We got 3 players in. Oh, and a wall charge comes out of nowhere there. They get the molly down. Addict's over there trying to see what he can do. Another molly goes out deep there. Ink's able to get one. Vitals takes down his own teammate, though, while taking down Zombie and Storefront, bringing it to a 4v4. They get the power back in storage. And now back into this waiting game. They're trading shots there. That's a fight Addicts can't win, not with 4 guns trained on him. Looks like a flare goes out right into the breach. Vital's now rotating around, see if he can do any work there. They're spraying it. Zillow on Freezer. Stars and Kai look like they're going to try to push into the shed. 2 flashes go out. Vitals does get into the back of Storefront there. They push in more Stars all the way into Freezer. Zillow trying to play it safe. They punish Stars in there. Addicts now finally able to breach into the Storefront, and the auto shotty is unleashed. Vitals gets another kill onto Birdie. Shady finally shuts him down after 3 kills. It's just Kai. He's alone in bathroom. Probably 1 shot from the KR. Lamb Shady in the position we've seen him in before, waiting in that corner, waiting to pop out. Oh, and a nade comes out from Kai, and he's able to get down Zillow. It's a 1v1, and Shady handles it 7-2. What a game from HYPA. A perfect 6 rounds in a row on defense.
That was impressive. I don't think any other team has managed to get a perfect 6 rounds on defense. Really coming in, I wasn't necessarily expecting HYPA to take it this drastically, but they did, and they showed why they deserve to be in those top slots. I mean, Fierce is in 2nd place right now. HYPA's in 4. I think after this, we could definitely see HYPA move up to 3rd or even supplant Fierce in 2nd place. This is just going to be one of those games that is probably going to be looked back on later in the season as the game that really set up HYPA for the rest of the season. They're coming in facing the number 2 team, and they just won 7-2. That's a score that doesn't happen very often in the DPL. That was a stomp. It'll be interesting to see if they can repeat it for a second one, but at this point, they cannot lose the match. They can only tie. And I think HYPA's feeling really good. Fierce not so much. They might lose some team morale here, and that might really, really hurt them in the long run.
Absolutely. And you can even look at this as we're looking at playoff teams. You talk about looking back at this. This might be a flagship game on how do you beat Fierce. Not a whole ton of teams have done it. They are in 2nd at this point, but not giving up a single attacking round. Teams who still have Fierce left on their schedule are going to be watching this match, looking for the things that HYPA did well in order to stop them. And you were right about it right from the pregame. Slow them down, make them take their time, and make them rush recklessly when they have nothing left to do. It worked out fantastically for them.
Yeah.
And it looks like we're going to be going to a quick intermission here between the 2 games. We'll be right back here for game number 2 of this set. probably about 5 minutes. See you guys then.
You know life is better when we just talk. When we just talk. Let's talk. Better when we just talk. Just talk. Better when we just talk. Just talk. You know better when we just talk. Let's talk.
Make the ground shake.
here with you. See your face in the crowd, but you don't seem so far away.
Welcome back to this amazing game we're watching. We just saw HYPA 7-2 Fierce. This is, really good to watch. This is the second place team facing the number 4 team, and the second place team so far is losing. They're down a game. They can't win. They can only tie. Let's see if they're able to pull out this tie. It looks like they've swapped out Kayaku for Marbles. This should be interesting to watch, as Marbles is typically their IGL. So they were playing without their IGL last game. Let's see if they can come back, play this game, and then win the match out of it. This is definitely going to be the one to watch. We're going to be jumping right into the game. I don't know. I think our production is currently suffering a little bit of technical difficulties, so I don't know when you'll get into the game. But I'll try and give you the radio cast of it. Me and Reviv here.
Gotta love radio DPL.
All right. We're pushing into game now. Everything has been fixed. Coming in on Operation Divine Axe. We got a wonderful freezer with a nice smiley face in it. Team's already adding the eyes and the nose. Well, I guess they're both eyes. It's just when the drawings are combined, it looks like Fierce here is putting a nose. Coming in, it's the same setup as we had last time. HYPA on attack first, Fierce on defense first. It'll be interesting to see if they can pull this off. Again, I think the morale for both teams has probably been affected by the last game. I think HYPA is static. They just won a really strong game, and Fierce might not so much. They might lose a little confidence. They might be getting a little mad, and we might see that in their play. Fierce is really worried about an office. We can see that they're putting 2 barbs to prevent a push from office. HYPA, on the other hand, they just kind of want to go storage. They want to go storage and push into arcade. They're only going to encounter 1 barbed wire doing that. It looks like they're going to probably door charge the storefront, or maybe even wall charge it. I can't tell. But they want to open up the storefront in some way to allow to just kind of break up the storefront, shoot into it as their team pushes from storage. This is going to be an interesting split play. They'll come in, and they could really just conquer and divide here against Fierce. I really hope to see a game just as good, if not better, than the one we saw last time. So I'm really hoping that it isn't just another stomp, but a lot of close rounds. Coming in off the bat, we can see HYPA leaving the truck. They do have a door charge in a clacker, and Birdie's going down to the storefront to open up a peek hole to help his team.
Yeah, depending on timing on that peek hole, that could be crucial. Birdie could see another early game huge kill total here, as no one's real ready for this green push here. Daya's really the only one that even has a possible shot onto it. They're watching their flanks real strong here. They're pushing all the way up into arcade. They find the barb. No nades in place, though, so they're just going to have to run through here. Oh, the molly's going to do tons of damage onto Lamb Shady. He's still sending it, though. They get him down. Daya gets the kill. Now the Saber comes out, and he's not able to get Daya. They do bait out the molly, though. That's huge. Now there's less mollies they're able to use. That's actually all the mollies that Fierce brought this round. So they're going to be huge here to not have that. Oh, Daya's able to get another one. Able to get 2 down there. Huge round here from Daya. He's got the 3K already. Birdie now trading out shots. Vital's able to get a lot of damage onto him. Inked finally shuts Daya down. Star's coming on the flank behind him, but Ink's got the awareness to get out. Birdie takes down Vitals here. Addicts finally gets Birdie down outside the wall, and now it's just Inked alone outside. Looks like he might try to go get the Saber if he can.
Birdie
I think that's
also
what
the
we're gonna
clacker.
see here.
Yeah, he's placing down
Yeah,
the
they're
smoke to
smoking
recover
it so
Saber
he
and
can keep
clacker.
it.
Marble's going to try and contest, though.
He's getting some shots down, but it's not going to be enough. Going to try to save the Saber and the clacker. A good try there from HYPA, but just kind of funneled into this arcade. Daya was able to punish him.
And they really were not able to take that. They did use a door charge, but they are going to be coming out of this retaining the Saber and the clacker, which is going to put them in a pretty strong economy situation for the next 2 rounds. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see HYPA pick up at least 1 round in attack. But again, we got to wait till the next set and really see what happens when HYPA gets put on defense. Again, we saw some roster changes here. We saw Marbles come in on Fierce. Marbles plays their IGL most of the time, so I'm guessing that's why we saw lackluster performance from them in the last game. And this game, I think, we'll see a bit better performance. It'll be interesting to see if that changes up any of the scenarios, especially when Fierce gets on attack.
For sure. I'm a little surprised we didn't see a nade brought there from HYPA. It's not really common to usually you barb out at least something about green. I'm surprised you didn't see a nade come out there to kind of help their push there.
Yeah, no, it is definitely interesting, and that really cost them because it forced them to push through the wire, which is where they lost most of their players. And that wasn't even necessarily an economy round. They because they used a door charge, so it was definitely risky. I think that could have been a fumble somewhere in the communication line. No one thought to bring a frag, or someone said, "Hey, someone should bring a frag," and no one decided they wanted to be someone. Um, so we could definitely see something like that happen again. But I think they're gonna learn from their mistakes. And now they have 2 frags for 2 rounds, so we'll probably see one brought out here. Coming in on the kill house for this game, Operation Sacred Point. Very interesting boxy kill house. We see the breezeway, which is the green door for this map, and really allows a lot of opportunity. But it isn't necessarily that strong. Now, immediately HYPA has circled something I've saw, which is right up here is a very nice wall charge right onto bomb that they can make use from even from the green. It seems like they're also considering wall charging. They're going to breezeway, entering hallway, and then wall charging into kitchen. That could be very interesting. However, it doesn't look like Fierce wants to hold around in kitchen. They might be holding more in brick house with barbed wire, so I don't know how much that'll gain them. It seems like Fierce also wants to dedicate several people to club, which could be very powerful, especially because even if they can't get back into brick house, they can wallbang onto bomb from there. So putting a lot of people in club denies a red door push, denies one of the pushes from breezeway from the green door. And so if you have people dedicated up in office and kitchen, you should be good. This is a very strong defense from Fierce, but it looks like HYPA might be able to counter it just by going through breezeway and then wall charging hallway to kitchen. I don't think Fierce is expecting it, and it might catch their player playing in kitchen off guard. I don't know who that is yet. I think it's Diagri. He might get caught off guard as HYPA pushes in.
Yeah, you gotta be if they do end up going for this breezeway push, this breezeway hallway push. We got Stars with the auto shotty and Marvel's able to wallbang at that hallway too. That could be massive if they're able to land their shots there. Looks like the smoke's gonna come out early on top of club there. Marvel's nothing he can really do. He's completely smoked off. Flashing in. Stars biding his time, and he's getting the auto shot. He doesn't get a ton of damage, though. That's huge for them. As they're shot straight out, and they're able to put the auto shot on the ground there. The wall charger's coming out as they're pushing in. Oh, Molly in the wrong spot. They're able to take down Die, and they're still pushing. 3v3 here. They take down Addicts on the backside. It's just Marbles and Vital here on Brick House, but no flashbangs left for HYPA. Oh, I pick one off the ground. They got a nade and a flash still off of Lamp Shady's body there. Looking as a 3 shotgun, the door open. The nade is in. The molly comes back. Looks like they're both able to stay safe from the nade. Completely undamaged. That's huge for them. The flash comes in. Birdie's able to get some distraction. Doesn't look like too much aim punch happened. Wallbang's coming out here. Marbles is down. Vitals is alone, and he's down too. What a great secondary push from HYPA there. Really, really strong stuff.
HYPA really coming into this round strong. I don't know how many rounds were left in that auto shotgun, but they have what's ever left. It must not be much as Ink swaps it out for a Gruber, which is another strong weapon to take off the defenders. It is effectively a AP-25, just improved. It has less recoil, more ammo, and a higher fire rate. Oh, and increased damage. That is a strong weapon to give to the attackers. We could really see them make good use of that. They also have the trophy barbed wire and the clacker, so they're coming out of this pretty strong. And Fierce was punished there, and it'll be interesting to see if they can recover.
Yeah, that was a huge secondary push there from HYPA. Looked like they might have been stymied there, and they were able to regroup, pick up what utility was on the ground, and push on through and take it easy.
Yeah, I think it was Marbles with the auto shotgun. They were really able to do a lot of early damage. It just wasn't enough. We saw everyone in that last push was injured, but they were still able to come out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though they had the man advantage, they didn't have the HP advantage because both players for Fierce were full HP on site.
Yeah, that frag did absolutely nothing, which was just unfortunate for HYPA, but very fortunate for Fierce. However, they were not able to succeed off that. Coming in for the factory map, Operation Rogue Galahad. I think we've seen this one before. I remember the name. It's a very fun name to say. We got a south office and a north office. And really those are important to control. While they don't have direct line of sight onto bomb, the doorways they have and on the catwalk there, between them, really allows a lot of suppression onto bomb that is often hard to contest unless you're up on shelving or in the office. So I definitely expect to see Fierce playing a lot around these offices, especially in the shelving. It seems like Fierce is also expecting a push from the north. They have two barbed wires for green. I don't know if they expect a door charge play somewhere on dock and having the rest of the team push through storage, or if they expect... I don't know what they're expecting with this barb. I don't think it's the barb that I would place for this round, so it'll be interesting to see. They really are expecting a storage play. I don't know why. I guess that's the best place to barb in terms of what barb is the best, but they're just not going to go there. Really, we're going to see a fan play from HYPA. At least that seems to be what they're indicating on the map. And it really doesn't look like Fierce is set up to contest that. They have two players who really have the ability to contest it, and if they go down early in the fight, it's just going to be all over.
This really is an interesting setup, knowing that HYPA does still have a charge, and looks like it's going to get taken on the left side here, probably looking either an office or a dock play based on where they're running. It looks like Birdie's going to be alone on this fan. Fierce just really not super set up for it as they are right now. Looks like Marbles is contesting office with the mop there. That does seem like where the charge is gonna go. As the charge does come in, they flash in. Marbles able to get a pick before getting out of there. What a shot from Marbles there. They double molly him in there. That does double damage. A little bit of nade damage onto Stars, but it's not enough. Marbles fleeing with his mop there. Shot straight out, and they are able to take down Diver and shelving. As it looks like we're going to see a little Mexican standoff between these offices here. Lamb Shady pushing with an AK. The mop again from Marbles brings out more terror. A trade goes Stars and Zillow both down in their respective offices. Addix is sending it after Birdie. Inked is going to punish him for it, though, and he does take him out. A 2v2, both super weapons up. We got an Ingmar and a... Oh, here comes a smoke out onto the bomb. That's huge. That ruins Marbles' line of sight there. Looks like he's going to try to swing around it. Ink's going to try to cover with the Ingmar. Looks like they're going to see some spray, and they do. They take down Vitals there. Now it's a 1v1. Marbles all alone here, seeing if he can make magic happen, and he can't. Ink takes him out despite their best efforts. 2-1 HYPA going on to the defense.
Very close round there. I think we just saw HYPA really out-aim Fierce there. Now, they definitely out-planned them too. But Fierce was able to adapt to the situation and really put some pressure on them, even though they really were not ready for the South Office push. I mean, interestingly, I'm pretty sure we even saw Marbles get a double collateral early in with his first shot there, as he was able to kill one and drop another to 15.
Marbles was doing his best to put the team on his back there, and he just couldn't get enough done.
Again, Marbles is the one who was coming fresh. He didn't experience that last game, so his mindset is probably better than the others. I don't know how that's affecting Fierce, but I could imagine that would be an explanation for some of the performance we're seeing. We're coming in back onto the C-Store map. C-Store Operation Divine Axe with the nice smiley face freezer. But now HYPA is on defense, and if we remember from that last game, HYPA was just able to lock down defense. They had a perfect defense game. They just shut down Fierce on every single attack. If we can see even something vaguely similar, because we're coming in a better situation. It's literally the reverse of what we had last game, where HYPA came in with 1 attack win and 2 defense, and Fierce came in with 2 defense wins. And now we're coming in. HYPA has won 2 attack, and Fierce only won 1 defense. That means that HYPA doesn't even have to play a perfect defense anymore to win without giving Fierce the defending initiative again. We're coming in, and both teams painfully aware of the storefront. It looks like Fierce wants to either push storefront and storage, or have a peak hole storefront and push storefront, just like HYPA tried to do. Although it didn't go very well for HYPA. HYPA is setting up barbed wire around the arcade. They're getting ready to watch the storefront from what looks like freezer. It seems like HYPA is informing us that it is tub time. I think we're going to expect to see some shotgun plays here, which, if pulled off, could really devastate Fierce. Shotguns really good. You can just rush into the enemy team, and even if you die, if you get 1 or 2 picks or even hits, that really just throws off the organization because there is some panic involved in it, and taking that damage, shotguns do deal a lot of burst damage. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Seems like Zombie is the one participating in tub time in Tellers, so it'll be interesting to see how he pulls it off. I expect great things if he's going to write on the map tub time. They've opened the storefront.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to open the storefront. Almost all of HYPA was in storefront when it was open. They finally get to close it off here, and it does... I don't see a wall charge on anyone, but I could be blind.
It does appear that
Oh, it does
Addicts
look
has
like
a wall
Addicts
charge.
has a wall charge over here. It does look like they're going to try to go for a wall charge with maybe just one lone flank on the storage over there. That's going to be Daya. All of HYPA seems in a good position for this, though, in the back of Freezer here, in Tellers, with a shotgun especially. Depending on where this charge goes off, it could be a good play. Looks like they've actually dropped the wall charge and given it to the guy with the saber and the nade. This is an interesting play here from Fierce, as they're kind of waiting for maybe Daya to get himself going over there in storage. Still just kind of stalling out. Only a minute 15 left. Oh, and Vitals is able to take down Lamp Shady with the door charge. That's crazy. Marbles here trying to see if he can get another pick. Tons of damage done onto him as HYPA kind of falls back and readjusts based on this wall charge here. Tons of damage with that nade, though. Looks like Birdie's at 1 as the smoke comes out directly onto the bomb. Another flash goes deep into Tellers. Dai is working his way into Arcade. Not that there's anyone there. Now we see Addicts and Stars pushing hard. Addicts able to take down Inked. Zombie trying to push out. It's just Zombie and Zillow left, and they finally take him down. And the curse is over. Fierce finally, after a full match, gets an attack around.
I mean, I think this is really Marbles was able to come in and reorganize his team and get them to actually properly work together. We saw the Fierce play. I mean, even though they were really stalled there, they had the storefront open on them and they lost some critical time there. They were still able to come together, coalesce for that final push and really punish HYPA. I mean, Zombie was really, really hyping up his tub play, and he just was not able to get anything off. I mean, he tried to push Addicts there, and Addicts is still pretty close to full health. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Again, HYPA does not need to play another perfect defense after getting those 2 attacker victories, but they do need to pick up a few defense rounds in order to have a chance of winning this match and winning the game as a whole.
Absolutely, and usually in a normal circumstance, you usually take a one defender win as kind of a split, and you'll take that as a defense. So winning the 6 in a row they did is just unheard of.
Interesting to see what Fierce does. Again, this is a map that really lends itself to wall charges. Now, they definitely lost their wall charge in that last round where they blew storefront. So they're not going to have the advantage that HYPA was able to use here. So they're going to have to push through these choke points, and HYPA knows this. They don't have to worry about these 2 very strong wall charge spots. I mean, there's several other spots across this map that you could use wall charges on. Those 2 are very strong. It looks like Fierce wants to semi-split push around Breezeway. In this map, if you want to go club, you might as well go Breezeway because you basically get the same thing. And actually, Breezeway might even be better because it gives you the straight access to bar. Now, it does lend you to getting barbed wired, but if you're willing to use a frag on that barbed wire that would block you off from getting into bar, it's effectively the same, if not cheaper, than going through the red door. Although they are considering the red door. They're worried about the same angles that they were trying to play in there, but it looks like HYPA's not going to dedicate that many people into there. Maybe 2, maybe only 1. It seems like they're more worried about a push through kitchen, so they're setting up for around that. Both are very strong, as if you hold one of them, you can hold the bomb. Because you can just wallbang either from kitchen, you can wallbang from here into the bomb, from club, you can wallbang pretty much anywhere. Anywhere in club, you can hit the bomb, and you can just deny defuse that way. So, very important to hold the side rooms, almost as important as holding Brick House itself.
Yeah, absolutely. This is if anything, Brick House is less important than kitchen and club control, which is what makes this map so fun. We aren't seeing a door charge anywhere on Fierce, so it is going to be green pushes. We got the auto shotty up in kitchen on Lamp Shady. This could be a real nice shot. We do see 2 tubs this time, so hopefully we can see a little bit of tub time on Inked and Birdie here. Vital's the first one in. The same smoke we saw on HYPA goes in. They're taking out that club angle. Some early ball bangs coming out. Nothing really pushed in yet. Looks like Addicts is trying to open up that club door with a shotgun if he can. He is able to finally get it open after pushing all the way up, letting Stars in. Star's doing his best here. Looks like they are going for club control. Hearing a saber out? That's interesting, Deutsch there. Inks looks like he's
marbles here.
absolutely. We're seeing Inks come around, looking like he's waiting for his flank, but Dias wait. They're going on the wall charges here. Addict's doing his best to get the door open. They're trading off damage through this wall. You don't need to see your people to shoot them on Kill House. All of the team looks like they're kind of funneled into that little backstage-like area over there, with Dia still on that flank. Ink looks like he's going to come back, and they're just trading off wall charge. It looks like a lot of damage has been done onto HYPA through these wall banks. There's the auto shotty going out. Still can't get any damage onto Fierce. They're even just sitting in this little funnel here. Oh, looks like Marbles is going to be the first one to push up with the saber. Nade goes out deep, doesn't do any damage. As they're trading off here more now, 2 kills now for HYPA here as they push in now on the flash. Stars and Vitals in. They're trading off shots like crazy. Zombies down 2. Stars and Vitals still in by themselves. Dia finally off the flank watch. Vitals goes down onto site. It's a 2v2. Almost no HP onto Stars as they're pushing in on the flash. Ink's not able to get the kills. Shady tries to get out and he can't do it. Barely squeaking it by. There is Spears. 3-2.
Really close round there. Unfortunately for HYPA, they were just not able to win the wallbang fights, and Fierce was able to just punish them for that. They just had such low HP base there, and Fierce was coming in almost uninjured, and yet they were still able to take out 3 of Fierce's members as they pushed through that choke point. That was a devastating choke point, and I think they only had 2, maybe 3 flashes to take that. Marbles' nade, he could have really done damage with that, but he put it right in the corner of the map, right where there's those nice big yellow bricks to just eat all the fragments from it and not do much to the people playing in there.
Yeah, it's 2 nades in Brick House with 0 damage done on either of them. That's a lesson if I've ever seen one.
You know, now they're going to be coming in with no nades, and aside from the auto shotgun, that was a pretty economy round for HYPA. We could see the big guns really brought out for this map and this factory map, and they could really do some damage with them. I wouldn't be surprised if HYPA was able to take this one. That said, they're coming in. They've just lost 2 defense rounds in a row. It'll be interesting to see if they can pick up the 3rd. Operation Rogue Galahad, definitely an interesting map. Again, I think it really requires some office control or shelving control. Conveyors is strong, but it really lends itself to getting smoked off there, and you can really get pushed from a lot of angles. Yeah. So, we definitely see that HYPA does not want to let Fierce do what they did to them. They're setting up barbed wires and south office and just deciding that you're not allowed to get out of it. They want to seemingly put someone up onto the shelving to shoot through the windows, put barbs on the catwalk. That's really just going to deny their 2 main exits, and Fierce will have to shoot their way out of it, and they'll probably take damage doing it. Fierce is definitely considering going for both, or they're considering both the office and the fan push. I believe they have both door charges left, because I think they've only used the wall charge, and in fact, it looks like they are bringing at least, they're bringing 2 clackers and 2 door charges. Simultaneous breach on fan and office. That's really going to put HYPA in a tough spot.
Yeah, especially down to these guys on the shelving over here. If they're breaching everywhere, this is the crossfire they're excited about. They're setting up over here. So if they're getting, sandwiched like that, that's going to put a ton of stress on those guys.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. They are dedicating what looks like the smaller team to the fan push. So that team could get wiped if they're not expecting players down there.
Especially, it looks like it's going to be the mop that goes out there. That could be huge. And it looks like Inked and Shady are going to stay in office to cover them. Oh, Birdie going for a cheeky spawn peek there. Just a little pixel you can see out right through here that he's trying to get off as best if he can. That could be massive if he's able to take down a player or 2 over there.
Marbles has been known to die to these angles before.
Oh, he's jiggling. He's Birdie's there. Oh, the shot misses. Oh, misses. Might have gone through the wall and hit him. He does a ton of damage to Vitals there. But Birdie now has to fall out. Ink now in his spot as the charge does simultaneously go off. Zombies molly is bad, but the fan molly's good. Looks like the Eyes can be flank watch again up in storage. Zillow's still ready for that, though, so they're comfortable there. HYPA actually in a good position here to repel this attack. Addicts and Stars now pushing into office, trying to see what damage they can get. They are trading shots on him. Birdie goes down to the ground. He was not covered the way they were expecting. Inked able to get one up top. Marbles gets the refrag, though. 4v3 here for Fierce now as they have full office and shelving control. Lamb Shady trying to see what he can do, take down Marbles, and he's not able to do it. Marbles with the 2K already. The smoke goes down. Not sure if that's where they meant to put it, though. As now Addicts and Die are down on the ground here. They're able to take down Zillow. Zombie's doing his best, all on his own now with a knack on a factory. It's not a position you want to be in. He's trading off shots, and Die is able to put him down. A great attack from Fierce. 4-2 halftime.
Really coming in an unfortunate scenario there. Maybe Fierce will pull off a perfect attacker set. Who knows? That could be really interesting for this game. HYPA's really got to be telling themselves that, we're going into the next half, new team, refigure everything. You got your economy back. All your losses have been wiped. You're coming in. It's a new game, and you just got to get ready to go back into it. And hopefully they're going to be able to do that, because right now it's not looking great for them. If they can manage to pull off another great defender set like they were in the previous match, then I think that we'll really be able to see some strong performance here. If they get those 3 wins, that's going to put them ahead of Fierce. It's going to be 5-4, and it's going to come down to those attacking rounds. And HYPA would only need to win 1. However, Fierce, if they continue to win these attacking rounds, this game can be over by the end of this set. So it'll be interesting to watch. We're coming in. Our new C-Store map is Operation Giant Shield. Doesn't really look like a giant shield, but it definitely works. Now, we got this really this T-shaped storefront, which I personally don't like. I don't think it provides much interesting gameplay, as it tends to result in the exact same shape, with tellers being placed in the same spot and freezer being placed in the same spot. However, it is something that the teams will have to work around. This freezer has a very nice panoramic view of pretty much all of storefronts, and the tellers does almost the same, although you will not be able to shoot through all of it. You can't really contest bomb. I guess you can almost contest bomb with tellers, but it is definitely the harder place to play. We're seeing HYPA on defense. They're worried about an office play. It seems like Fierce is getting ready to breach into just breach storefronts and rush that tellers. They might even go for the tellers nade here. Drawing a guy in the bottom, big iron on his hip. They're getting ready to. They're almost getting cocky. That could be dangerous. If they go in unprepared, they could lose a lot. Now it looks like they also are considering going in through storage and bathroom, which would allow for a split push, but HYPA might be able to shut that down. We'll have to see. Seems like the barbs are coming down in places that are really set up to stop a storefront push here, so that could be really good for HYPA. We could see them really take defense back.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting as we see our players split, and shockingly enough, Die is going to be alone over here on the green door. Lamp Shady looks like he's going to be ready for that, as the rest of HYPA is going to be out there. We're seeing Marbles again on that Saber. He's so strong there. Probably Adaxi's going to be the one who's going to be pushing that teller with his shotgun. Charges down onto the storefront. Charge comes out here now as Birdie's going to pre-fire the contest. No Molly real close, so they might be able to get the start with Molly. Ooh, a little bit of team damage there done onto Addicts. That can't be good. There we go. Now Lamp Shady trying to punish Die on the flank watch, and they're not able to do it. Die's pushing him back real hard on the flash. Lamp's caught in the corner, but Zillow gets the refrag immediately up there. First Molly does come out in front of this teller's door to keep him safe now into this 4v4, and this is a one-dimensional attack. Ooh, Marbles punished Inks for even think about peeking that arcade door. Addicts now pushes into office, not into tellers, and he's punished for it. That's the shotgun on the ground. They cannot open that teller's door. Luckily, Birdie's going to do it for him, and Marbles is going to handle him. Stars now into tellers, and it's just Zillow and Zombie left in office as they're pushing in and taking full control of storefront. Zillow now maybe going on the flank. He can't quite decide where he's going to go. Hiding out in bathroom. Zombie's in there too. Looks like Marbles is going to be the first one to jump onto the bomb here. Zombie trying to see what he can do. Oh, and he's able to take down Marbles. That's the Saber on the ground, too. Now we're to a 2v2. HYPA much down on the HP. 40 seconds left here. Stars giving that bomb just a teeny little tickle. See if he can get anything done. Vitals does have him covered. A flash goes out. The shots ring out, but they're not really connecting. Zombie and Zilla just trying to see if they can hold on. 30 seconds left, but the bomb is already more than halfway there. That's only going to take 4 seconds of the fuse. They're able to get Zillow, and they're able to get down Zombie too. That's everybody. Another great attack for Fierce, kind of turning the tables. That's 4 in a row for him.
Yeah, no, I mean, if they're able to keep this up, if they can win one more round, they can't lose. And if they can't lose, then it's going to be a tie game. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how these next few rounds play out. If HYPA is unable to get at least one defense win, then they'll be forced to. If they don't get one defense win, it's over. They need to win defense. They need to start, playing like they were playing in that last match.
Yeah, it seems like that sub that bringing their Marbles, bringing their IGL back in, their Mopper, their Saber guy, bringing him back in has been a whole changing tide here for Fierce.
Really able to just come in and change it. We're on Operation Crimson Daedalus. Another kill house map and another one with a lot of good wall charge opportunity. However, Fierce really likes to go for those storefront plays. I mean, maybe not even Fierce. We've seen Marbles pull it off here twice now, I believe. And I don't think we saw it all in the last game. I think Marbles really likes those storefront breaches, and who doesn't? They are very powerful, and they're very hard to shut down, especially with the lack of cover in C-Store. Now, we're coming in. It looks like Fierce wants to take Club just to get wallbang opportunities on a lot of the hard spots to reach in Kitchen, which is a very, very strong strategy, as it's going to put HYPA in a very bad spot. It looks like HYPA's really looking at anchoring in what seems like Kitchen and Club. They're setting up barbs for around that. It'll be interesting to allow for this. It'll be interesting to see how it works out, because the barb that they're placing for Club is for a checkpoint push, when it looks like Fierce really wants to push through lockers. So it's definitely going to be an interesting game here. If the team of HYPA in Club is able to hold Club, I think we'll see a good round for HYPA. If they're not, it's probably going to go to Fierce, and we're going to see it be 6-2, and at that point, HYPA can't win, and it'll be a tie game.
Oh, that might not be good there. Jumping on top of that couch, trying to see what angles he can get, and he activated the UAV. If Fierce is paying attention, they might know there's going to be at least one guy playing on that Club wallbang, and looks like there's going to be 3 of them. Man, that could be strong on these wallbangs. Looks like Lamp Shady's bringing that auto shotty again. It looks like they're just going to leave Birdie and Zombie back into Kitchen to play for the play on site in these wallbangs, and it looks like that's all of HYPA's defense strategy here, is just to play for these wallbangs. And it's a good strategy. Charge goes out into lockers here. It looks like Adaxi's going to run around here. Maybe drop a corner smoke. He does love those corner smokes. He's checking the checkpoint as they now push into lockers. Wall charges like crazy. Inks gets 1 on the wall. Now it's only Vitals that was able to get in. We got 2 coming the backside though. They get the materials off of Marbles. More damage done on Vitals on 1 HP. Looks like Dye is back behind backstage. Ink doesn't know he's there, and he gets taken down as Addicts and Dye are going to push back in. Zillow and Lamp Shady forced to fall back. Lance only got that auto shot and not much long-range defensive use. The flash comes out there, pushing him now. That's a Molly they throw deep back there, trying to force him one direction. Dye is down on the push. Addicts is down on the push. Oh, but he steps back into the Molly, and he mollies himself out. That's the auto shotty down on the ground. Another Molly comes out to keep him in Club. It's just Stars left. Wow, what a carnage out there in that locker entrance. They trade him back and forth into Club here. It's just Stars. He does have a nade, though, and it's possible to hide behind that bomb. That could be really strong, but it looks like he might be trying to clear out the Club option here. He's not sure what he's doing. He's thinking about it. He's picked up a flash and a nade here. He's going to want to make sure that
down
nade
in Club.
comes out.
So he's probably trying to recover Clacker. Oh no, he's not.
No, it looks like he's going to push that direction. The flash comes out, the Molly comes out, and they wall bang him to the end. An excellent strategy there from HYPA, just to wait him out, play for those wall bangs, and keep their chances of winning this match alive. As Zillow and Birdie now going to try to feast on the remains of these fierce hippopotami, trying to see what they can pick up here.
Definitely a very strong round from HYPA. I think they've really figured out how to play defense against marbles now. We might be able to see them pick up another round in this next on this next round, and if they are able to do that, they're going to be in a very strong position. That's 4-5. That's anyone's game. I mean, it's anyone's game now. 3-5. This could very easily come back to HYPA, and they could win.
Especially with 3 attacker rounds still to go here. If they're able to win this round, that could be a springboard on to victory for them.
And if they're able to get this momentum, like you said, it could be really strong for them in the long run. We're coming in, Operation Adder Keeper. It's our last factory map that we're going to see this game, and it is definitely an interesting one. It's got a lot of interesting conveyors lined up against the wall here, which are very strong for holding bomb and even dock, or just pretty much all the pushes. Dock is probably the one that is the biggest risk to it, but even then, if you fall back to the furthest east ones, you do have a good line of sight onto the dock door, and you can do damage there. Not to mention from the office, you can provide a lot of cover fire from there. It seems like HYPA is really concerned about them getting power here. I believe this is one of the few maps where power is actually very dark. I think this is one of the maps where the lighting works, and if you turn off power, it just gets dark. And it seems like Fierce wants to try and push power. They're marking it up for the what looks like a green and fan push here, which is going to be a very strong split to just pincer anyone in servers and get themselves power. If HYPA is smart, they're going to bring flares, and they're going to be able to use that to just win the round. I really want to see HYPA pull this off at this point. I think they can. They're setting up in some strong positions, it looks like, where they're going to have someone up on the shelving, ready to watch dock. If they're able to rotate fast enough to fan, they could do a lot of damage, or even get some kills before going down. And yes, we can already see HYPA setting up along the conveyors. And even in storage, this could be very strong for them. They're not just anchoring bomb. They're playing all over the place and are ready to rotate.
And I would say Ink's going to have a really, really strong Lego shot there through that wall bang there. If he's lining that up like he is right now, that could just stymie this attack. It looks like Marbles is going to try a Hall of Fame smoke down here. It's going to go through the window and all the way over to this door down here. That is a throw if he's able to pull it off. Looks like we are going to see a first flash come out of the storage, and it doesn't work. It hits the mullions and lands right there. He brought 2, though, just in case, and it gets closer. Does what it needed to do to keep Lampshady from getting his line of sight. Lets them push up, and it looks like Fierce kind of biding their time a little bit. Then nading out the double barb, and they get both of them. That's huge. We're going to see 3 members of Fierce push into servers here. Zombie's going to get flashed, and he's just going to hope Ings can cover him long enough to get out. He does get 1. They get the power, but Elia doesn't know he's there. They're trading shots in a little cubby, and it's Zombie who's going to win the trade there. Marbles now finally worked his way onto the fan, but HYPA knows he's there, and they're able to take him down. Birdie takes him good, and now it's just 2 players left. Stars and Vitals here. Zombie's sending it hard there. A dangerous full push. He's able to take down Stars, and they're looking to finish him off. Vitals does take him down, but he's only at half health. Ooh, Vitals gets a second one now. Vitals all alone here in this 1v3 on half HP. He's got 2 flashes. He's mollied off of storage. He's going to have to go around to servers. Ooh, an early flash use there. Now they know where he is. Birdie knows where he is. They're trying to get him. They get the power back down. That could be strong for him if it is as dark as they say. They flash. He's pushing in hard. Birdie falls out. They can't get him. Interesting molly there by Lampshady. Vitals now knows Birdie's up there. He cannot push now. They're trading shots. The only guy that he can see, Birdie knows where he is, though, and he's able to put him down. 4-5 going back onto the attack. We have a game again, folks.
Really able to recover here. If HYPA is able to keep this momentum into their attack rounds, they could really turn it around. They do need to play a perfect game from here on out to win, but they can at least really hurt Fierce. And I think we're seeing the morale turn. Fierce just had a really strong attacking set, and then they just got shut down. And I don't know, that might really throw off their momentum. It might throw off their morale and put them in a bad spot for this defense. And Fierce is not great on their defense. So we could really see HYPA come in and secure the win here. It is definitely going to be good. I believe, actually, if the game ends 6-6, this is technically HYPA's victory because they won the first game. So they actually have a lot more leeway in terms of winning here, whereas Fierce actually has to win in order to tie this game. So coming in, we're back on Operation Giant Shield. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Fierce is on defense. They're setting up angles for storefront here. It looks like HYPA is they're ready to smoke off all of their concerning angles if they go storefront, and that's probably what they're gonna do. Fierce setting up barbed wire for green. Interestingly, there is a pretty good wall charge here, where if you go green, you can just kind of wall charge into storefront from the back, and they're not really barbing for that. It'd be interesting to see if they even consider it or cover it. I don't believe HYPA did, so that's going to be interesting. Yeah, from the smokes that they seem to be laying out.
I think those might be nades, Red.
Oh, you are right. Those
looks
are
like
ends,
ends in
not
there.
S. Yeah.
That's
They
a bold
could
move.
try and nade. Yeah. Trying to nade Arcade like that, I don't know what you're going to get out of it. However, throwing a nade in front of Freezer will actually clear out a lot of the shelving units, which means you can push in there and take Freezer easier, and the person playing Freezer loses a lot of their visual cover. They don't have the concealment that they would have otherwise. So it's definitely interesting. Plus, that nade up at top of storage, while it would also clear out Freezer, it would clear out anyone playing behind that like bin shelf there, which provides a lot of protection. Still not entirely sure where HYPA is going to breach. They haven't marked it. Unless it's this X in the corner of the map, they could totally just push storefront and really take it. There's not a lot of defense for it. It's going to come down to gunfights.
Yeah, it looks like it might. The only person who can properly contest this is Vitals standing underneath that little end circle nade there. That could spell disaster for him if that's what does end up happening. Looks like it is going to be a storefront push. It's down. They're in. They're getting their flashes in there. The nade is deep. It might do deep damage to Vitals, and it does. He's 1 HP. They're sending after him. Lamb Shady is. It looks like he's going for power. He does get it. Flare mollies are out, but they're not doing what they need to do. Marbles now rotates into Arcade. Shots are ringing out every which way. Eight's pushing into Freezer to stop Marbles rotate to safety, and he does just that. And he's able to get a second into storage. All of HYPA lit, but there's 5 of them still, and there's only 2 players for Fierce left. They both have shotguns, too. They're too far away to do anything. Ink's smart to jump on there. Stars and Addicts trying to see what they can do, but they just don't have the range to handle it. They do jump off the bomb. Addicts is able to get Zillow there with his pistol. Addicts now sending it out there. Birdie's able to get Stars. Now it's just Addicts, and they finish him off. That's it. 5-5, folks. We're going into the money rounds here. Let's see what happens.
It's a tie game. The next person to win can't lose. If HYPA gets one more round, will have won this series, and that is going to be very strong for them. That's going to really help their numbers on the standing. Now, if they can win 2 rounds, I believe they get even more points out of this. I'm not entirely sure on that rules, but I think that's how it'll work here. Because I think if you win both matches, you get 2 points. If you only win one and then tie the other, you get 1 point.
1.5, I believe, because it's just 2 games.
Yeah. So it should be very interesting to see how this comes out. It's 5-5. Anyone's game at this point. HYPA's got the momentum. Fierce is on the back foot. Again, they're on the side that they are not strong on. So it's going to be definitely interesting to see how they play this one. This was the map where HYPA was able to get back their momentum. Let's see if Fierce is able to do the same. They were really able to make use of that club for wall bangs. And I think on this map, club is just more important than bomb room. Like, you cannot actually cover bomb from club, unfortunately, but it does just enable wall bangs onto every other room in the map. So holding club is important for both sides. And both teams know this. They're setting up defenses around it. It seems like Fierce is really scared of a potential lockers breach like they did, and so they're setting up a lot of barbed wire for it. They seem to be bringing 4 barbed wire this round, which really they might need to, because they know they just need to get one of those wins in order to secure themselves a not loss. So bringing 4 barbed wire or even 5 barbed wire to just secure that win might be worth it. Now it seems like HYPA might be considering an office breach here. It does look like they do plan to breach office. They're going to check their corners. They've already marked all the corners that they're worried about. They've probably assigned a player to check those. They're going to go in, they're going to clear it, and if they're able to, they can take kitchen. I don't know if they'll be able to take it without club control, but if they do, they'll be able to get cover behind the bomb, behind those grills in the middle of the room, and then the people in club can't do anything about it. So it's definitely a big concern for them, but it isn't super important like it was for a lockers push. And it seems like all the barbed wire going out is to stop the taking of clubs. There's 2 barbed wire still on the field. We'll see if those are late places or if they're just forgotten.
Ooh, looks like this auto shot is going to be over here. He's going to drop that barb in there and fall right back. Maybe. Oh, no. The charge gets one of their own players there. That's huge on an attack like this. On a wallbang map where you're playing for damage, this is huge mistake there from HYPA. Because they're going to see 3 players from Fierce in this kitchen with the other 2 watching the rotate and the flanks into club here. So trying to trade some wallbang damage off, but they just can't get anything to stick. The nade goes out, they get 1 bar, but that's not going to get the second. Star's throwing more auto shotty rounds at him, and Sucker's got a million. They're pushing in here. Oh, the second molly does a lot of damage. It discounts that second flash. They've got 3 flashes left, though. They're probably not too concerned about that. Molly's out there flashing in again. Tons of damage from Addicts on the wall there. He's able to. Vitals gets 2 there as they're shooting him. And everybody, the entire team goes down in that barbed wire. What a round from Fierce to secure a point.
Fierce has now secured themselves the tie. So that is very strong. If they're able to get the win here, that's going to be a tie set. If HYPA is able to come and get another win, it will go to them. The series will go to them, but the game will be a full tie. So that's going to be very interesting to watch out for. HYPA isn't hurting too bad on the economy, but and Fierce used a lot of barbed wire that round. I believe they only have 2 left for this round, which could be really bad for them. They're not going to be able to hold off as many angles. As we saw there, their barbed wire, they really played around it and were able to make a good use of it. I also think some of HYPA's flashes there were a little short. Now, they didn't know about the second barbed wire until they fully pushed in, but if they did, I believe you could have placed the frag in such a way that would have gotten both. So they definitely could have played utility better that round, and I believe that's what really cost them the round. Not to mention losing a player early on to an unfortunate incident with the wall charge or door charge. Fierce, already one of their barbs going straight on storage, but it doesn't matter. HYPA wants to go do docks. They just want to go docks. They want to smoke that off and take office, and that's going to give them a lot of map control here. So it could be very powerful. I think we'll see HYPA come back. Yeah, no, they're Fierce is setting up for barbs around green. And Fan, I don't know if they know the economy of HYPA and they think that HYPA has lost their clacker, but no, they do have a clacker and they do have a door charge left. So we will likely see that come out and be used to get them into docks and secure them this win. And if they can win here, that's a tie, and then that's a series win.
Absolutely. This is massive here for HYPA.
Fierce is ready for those angles. They're setting up some angles on conveyors and maybe even office here. But it seems like they're mostly concerned about that power box, and they really just want to defend it and defend the areas around it. I don't know how well that's going to go for them. You're basically not barbing off HYPA at all. That's going to allow them to get in. That's going to allow them to spread out and just pick you off one by one without you being able to shoot at them.
Yeah, it is dangerous. We do see one player from Fierce here in Dock 2. He's sitting right here. He might even be playing for for tons of wall banks here. Oh, he's got a clacker. Oh, that could be devastating.
That is definitely a worry. And they have mollies already ready for this entrance.
Yeah, and despite where their barbs are, they're playing for the bomb site here. They're ready for this. Marbles has a mop up there in the top of conveyor. They are ready for this push. It is so hard to squeeze into a factory door like this when they're ready for it. And HYPA wasn't even trying to be sneaky about it. They knew they were coming, and it's going to be a firefight here, folks. The charge does go out. Perfect molly. And the smoke comes in. Addicts does not get the kill with the clacker, though. That is fantastic play by HYPA, keeping themselves far enough back. Another molly comes in, but it lands too short. The spraying through, and Shady's the only one who gets all the way up into office, and he's trading up with Stars. Stars wins the cake. Addicts gets 2 more on the shelving up top now. Oh, and they're just going down left and right. It's only Inked and Birdie left. Birdie still does have the saber, though. He's able to bring this back single-handedly if he can land his shots. Inked now just trying to hide in the corner, keep the distraction onto him. Birdie looking, hoping he can catch somebody now looking at him. Inked is able to take down Daya, though. Marbles is ready to trade shots with this saber here. A classic mop saber face-off. A 3v2 now. Oh, the body shot does come onto Inked. Marbles gets his shot to land. Looks like Birdie's actually watching the office above, making sure Stars doesn't jump out on Inked's head now. And it's just a game of cat and mouse. Lots of damage done on 2 Fierce. 1 bullet each on Stars and Marbles here. Now Ink slowly pushing up. He's ready for Vitals, who's full HP to swing, and he does. He takes down the Saber. Ink's all alone here. Now it's just the mop onto the bomb. He misses the shot, but he doesn't need to hit anything but a pistol. He gets Marbles, and Zillow finishes him up from behind. 7-5 Fierce, so split match, 1 point each. What a game.
That was the series we're coming in. It's a tie game overall, so tie series. I think we saw some really good games here. I think Fierce was just not playing on their full game. I think not having Marbles as their IGL really hurt them there for that first game. But him coming back in the second, he was just able to reorganize the team, put them back into how they play, and they were able to secure it. But HYPA almost brought it back. I think they got used to playing against Fierce without Marbles, and that hurt them for this game. But now they came in, and they were just able to, by the end of that, they were able to really challenge them. They were able to shut down a few pushes, and they were able to almost win a few attack rounds there. It's just a shame that it came so late, and they weren't able to do it earlier in the match, which really could have helped them win the game and win the series.
Yeah, really just a fantastic game of due process there between the two of them. You're seeing some of the best defense we've ever seen out of the DPL and HYPA in game one. You're seeing some of the best back and forth play that we have to offer here, and that's just so much fun there when they're going at it like that. A full 7 games, you're 5-5. It's just, that's what DP is all about.
Yeah, this was a really good match. I don't know how it's going to affect the standings, as that was a tie. So I believe both teams received 1 point from that.
That's correct.
Yeah, so I don't think we'll see much standing changes from that, but it is definitely going to allow both teams to maintain their current positions on the leaderboard.
Yeah, for sure. This is going to be it's a good showing for both teams. HYPA, if you just count raw rounds, they take it easy. They take it by a lot, and so that's a strong showing for them. And Fierce knows they need Marbles when they're need to succeed. Marbles is key to their success. So they need to make sure they have him there. Absolutely. And I think we're going to take a little break here, about 20 minutes, and we'll have you back for the last game of the weekend here, coming up at 3:00.
Yeah, and that game, I believe that game is Mazer and SH.
That should be a great one for you folks.
That should be one of the best to watch. Those are two very strong teams.
Yeah, alrighty. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Hope to see you guys in another 20 minutes or so.
Have a great day if we don't.